So Bad It's Good is sponsored by our friends at Hims. Hair loss isn't just about hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. Hims helps you take back that confidence with access to simple, personalized care that fits your life. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/sobad. That's hims.com/sobad for your free online visit. hims.com/sobad. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products included compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. Folks, welcome to So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Thursday episode. We are doing a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City episode 7 recap. Oh my good God, folks. Just when this show, you don't think it can get better, it gets better. I mean, we are on such a solid season. And even going into this recap, I was like, there's nothing, all I can do is just enjoy it along with you guys. We're going to go through this and we're going to have a blast. But when you are working at this level, because we see what it's like when shows don't work. Real Housewives of Orange County, I'm looking at you. It's easier to talk about in some ways because you're talking about the things that, oh, I can't believe they fell into this trap. Oh, the women, they're not fighting in a certain way. But Salt Lake City, I keep talking about there's a certain musicianship to shows that work. Just the pacing of it, the beat, and that doesn't just come from the ladies. That's the overall production. The producers of this show, the editors, the sound designers, they're all working at an extremely high level, and everything comes together just right, where each episode this season, it has its own vibe. Like we had that episode a couple episodes ago where it was all set in one location. We have now a crossover event with Below Deck Down Under where it is on a yacht. I mean, we are taking this to different locales and it is still not losing a beat. It is just improving. And everybody, I dare you, go back and watch this episode a second or a third time like I have, and you're going to notice something different each time you watch it. In fact, as we watch it together right now, we're going to discover new things that I haven't seen before. You can look at a character, and I highly recommend looking at Britani Bateman during scenes because she will just do her facial gestures, like her reactions are so out of this world, and they make me laugh so much. Which, by the way, Britani saying that Meredith is batshit crazy, my God, when that happens, I mean, Meredith's got to be like, are you fucking kidding me? Britani Bateman said, I'm crazy? What are you talking about? It is so insane and so funny. And yet there is this thread of darkness that runs throughout because criminal activity is brought up nonstop. There is just so much little behavior from each one of these ladies where it's like, listen, there might be characters that I disagree with or that aren't my favorite. But each one of these ladies brings something so specific that it is a joy to watch. And it's really hard to critique in any sort of way. I mean, I'll still find places to do it because, listen, I'm a manic depressive, but like, you're just like, wow, I'm just glad this show exists. I mean, and then it scares me because each episode now I'm waiting for it to falter. I'm like, can this keep going? Can this streak keep going? Like, eventually we're going to get tired of the fighting. And there are some, like, listen, people are going a little crazy on Lisa Barlow right now. And I think for reasons that are known and reasons that are not known yet. I mean, Heather is a very interesting person where I'm like, she is walking a very fine line. And you saw her flip-flopping in this episode, which I don't, Heather, I'm impressed that she's kind of saying certain things about how she feels for Lisa, but you got to stand in the courage of your convictions. You can't flip-flop of like, I would die for you. No, you wouldn't. You just said you think she's behind this whole mess. So that is a little wishy-washy, but listen, this should be a joy. We should be able to listen to this or watch this today and have a good time together, which is what good television we should be doing anyways, right? It should help us. It should help us escape from our everyday lives, and it should help us laugh with each other. And if there are some good, solid moments that make us think about something deeper, then so be it. So today, we've got a big job here. We're going to cover Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We're going to jump right in. And then we're going to do a part 2 because I have one of my favorite TikTokers and content creators, Josh Banfield, at Josh the Roni Stan on TikTok and all social media. He was boots on the ground at the Jesse Solomon concert in New York City last night. So in our part 2, we will do that and we'll do another couple of stories. So listen to that at your leisure, but we will just jump right into Salt Lake right now because there is a lot of stuff to cover. There was also a Salt Lake City after show, which is not on Peacock yet, but you can find the 2 parts of it on YouTube. And I got to tell you, that was damn good as well. All of these ladies are funny as hell. Lisa Barlow, funny as hell. Whitney, funny as hell. Mary Cosby seems like she's having the time of her life all of a sudden. Angie K. I mean, my God, Angie K. We actually see Angie K's vomit in this episode. That's called bravery, folks. That's what that is. Bravery. How are you guys? Are you good? Listen, I want to shout out my Patreon. I put it up on Instagram because I dressed up for our Halloween live Patreon, which you can still see. It'll be up on the Patreon, the video of it. And Mediza had the good idea to dress like Muzzy, Bronwyn's mom, and got me the sweatshirt, which I'm wearing right now. Muzzy wore this in the episode. It said, "It's fine, everything's fine," and it looks like it has an electrocuted cat on the cover. And she got me that and a wig, and Rebecca did my makeup. And I looked pretty damn close to Muzzy. The scary thing was, you guys, I caught a look of myself in the mirror before we started, and I kind of looked like my mom. I kind of looked like my mom, and I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, I miss you." It was a real bizarre experience, and we sent a picture to my dad, and my dad was cracking up as well, because I was like, damn, it was like the same hairstyle my mom had sometimes, and I was like, this is eerie. It was truly like my mom. I meant to dress as Muzzy, but then I saw flashes of Becky Bailey. And God, I miss you, Mom. I miss you. It was great to see you again, even if for a little bit. And at the end of the day, I was supposed to look like Muzzy. So if you want to see a look at me in that monstrosity, you can go to our IG at So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey and check that out. But we had a great time. Come join the Patreon, man. It is really fun over there. We had a great time in the chat tonight. What up, chat? I love when streamers do that. Chat, what do you think about that, chat? Okay, so there was that, and then I got to remind you once again about our BravoCon live meetup, Saturday, 6 p.m., Hard Rock during BravoCon weekend. We are doing this in conjunction with Pink Shade with Mary Payne Gilbert. The link, I got to remember to put the link up on IG. There are so many things that I just don't remember, and I forget. My mind, it is just like a space vacuum. I'll have a thought, and then that thought just disappears. And it's great. It's such a fun thing to deal with. So anyways, we'll be doing that at BravoCon, and I will be, I think within the next day or two, making a BravoCon announcement that is more official business through Bravo, which I'm very excited about. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. And even if you're not a BravoCon, you will be able to be a part of that as well. So I can tease that a little bit, which is very exciting. Man, another busy day today. I did listen to Andy Cohen on Call Her Daddy. This is the first full episode of Call Her Daddy I've listened to. And I have to tell you, it was not nearly as bad as people got me thinking that Alex Cooper is just the worst interviewer ever. And I got to tell you, in her little video clips and stuff, not my favorite, and especially like when she makes people like lip sync to songs or whatever. I mean, I'm not the audience for that, obviously, but I have to tell you, the Andy Cohen interview, I kind of liked. No real big new ground was broken. He didn't announce what was going on with Roni. There was no any like special announcements, but I thought it was fascinating. I love, Andy Cohen seemed like he was really happy to be there, and his enthusiasm, I think, really kind of helped push that to something that I really enjoyed listening to. It was great to hear a little bit more about his relationship with John Mayer. They are very in love with each other, but not not boyfriend, but just deeply in love as friends. And I was like, all right, okay, cool, Andy, cool. But yeah, I thought it was great. I enjoyed listening to that very much. But he did do a marry, shag, kill. He was asked to marry, shag, kill Sandoval, Craig Conover, or Howard Stern. And he wanted to marry Howard Stern. And then he said it was kind of an HR issue because Craig still works with Bravo. He said Sandoval I'll shag because Sandoval doesn't officially work with Bravo any longer at this moment. But I was like, first off, I was like, you admit to wanting to shag Sandoval? And he was like, he said he finds Sandoval very attractive. So listen, even Andy Cohen is not without fault. And then Craig, he said he would unfortunately have to kill. But I was worried. I was worried about Andy in that question specifically. Okay, let's hop right into this because we got a lot of ground to cover. Season 6, Episode 11. The title of this is called Above Deck and Below the Belt, you guys, because this is the crossover event with Below Deck Down Under. Now, Below Deck Down Under has not started their new season. Andy Cohen said on his Radio Andy show today that this will be a 3-episode crossover event. So when Below Deck Down Under starts airing, I do not have a date for that yet, we will see 3 episodes from the vantage point of the deck crew from Below Deck. And that's going to be amazing because the first episode of Salt Lake City was great. So I can't wait to flip it and see it from their vantage point. This Captain Jason, man, what's going on with him? He gets around, man. This guy is a horny dude. I can't tell if he's just really nice and loves hanging out with Bravo celebrities, or there's like a thirst level there. I think he just seems really nice, but at times I'm just like, wow, he potentially hooked up with Heather Gay. And he hooked up with Adriana, and he was flirting with Lala. I mean, Captain Jason gets around. I am worried for him at this BravoCon. We got to keep our eye on this Captain Jason, you guys. So it's going to be a 3-episode event. Below Deck Down Under looks like it's like Daisy Kellaher is the chief stew. She was Below Deck Sailing Yacht, and now I'm wondering if that show's done. Because remember, Deckhand Gary had some really questionable behavior with Bravo crew and some of the staff on that ship. But I really like that show, so I'm curious to see if that's done because Daisy's over the chief stew. We got Joao from previous Below Deck seasons, Captain Jason, but it looked like a good crew in the moments that we got to see them. I want to know how many crew members ended up hooking up with Britani Bateman. She would, man, flirting with everybody. And this Jared stuffed animal unicorn, we got to find a way to make one of our own. Couldn't you imagine that? Maybe that's what I'll get for my daughter when she's born, is a unicorn stuffed animal with Jared going, "Hey, baby, what's going on, baby? You're very special like a unicorn. It's me, Jared Osmond. Yeah, I'm wearing bracelets and I'm eating a charcuterie board right now. It's me, Jared Osmond." So the description the Peacock gives us for this crossover event says, in an event with Below Deck Down Under, the women take off for Heather's Caribbean Adventure. That would be great. That should be a Disneyland ride, Heather's Caribbean Adventure or something. Now, remember, Heather Gay is the one that set this up, allegedly. I mean, listen, Heather did not pay for this. This is obviously paid for by Bravo because it promotes both of their shows. Also, remember that Heather and Whitney are Bravo superfans, so I believe that they are I think they watch all the Bravo shows. So I think Whitney and Heather were just tickled to be there. I think they were probably really excited. I do wonder, as I've wondered since the Receipts Proof Timeline season, you know, Heather's got to watch it, you know, like she started off this show as the everyman, as the person that we were able to, like the person that was able to walk us through all of the events, especially in that first season. And you get a little touch of this kind of low level fame. And I think it does things to you. And I think Heather, for all intents and purposes, the producer still thinks she is the reliable narrator, but she's got to be really careful with that power. She's obviously changed so much about her look, which is amazing if that makes her feel better about herself. But she's just got to be careful in which way she throws her power. And I think Heather has a lot of, I don't know, there's probably a lot of mental health not issues, but things that she is still dealing with her divorce and leaving the Mormon church, which we'll find out more about on her show, Surviving Mormonism, the 3-part series that premieres in November. So there's a lot there. And especially if you look completely different years ago and you have a totally change in body type and like certain aspects of your face, that can really do a number on your head as well. Like I go up and down in weight my whole life, and it has really made me, I have major body dysmorphia at times, like I really see myself in a very negative light. And even if I'm looking my best, I can't see it. So I do wonder if that plays tricks in Heather's head. And then if you get this extreme adulation from the Bravo audience or from production or Bravo proper, because I think they all love her, that's got to do something psychologically. And it's interesting to watch her lash out at somebody like Lisa Barlow, and some of that is warranted. But then to backtrack, like I said earlier, I mean, she did a similar thing with Monica Garcia, but she laid the hammer down and made sure Monica was gone. I mean, they pulled a Katie Janela on Monica Garcia before Katie Janela even existed on Bravo, and it was successful. Monica and Bravo wanted Monica to come back, even for a couple of episodes, and it was no bueno from the Salt Lake City cast. Now, there's obviously mystery. What did Bronwyn do? What are these charges that are sealed? What did Lisa do? Can we prove that Lisa is the one digging up this information, or is Lisa just getting information from Bravo bloggers and content creators or whatever the hell that they call us now? And is she just accepting all of this information? Like, listen, people DM me shit all the time. I said, So Bad It's Good is sponsored by our friends at Hims. Hair loss isn't just about hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. Hims helps you take back that confidence with access to simple, personalized care that fits your life. Now I'm looking in the mirror. I'm starting to get a receding hairline. I'm seeing the hair and I'm not loving it sometimes. And that's where Hims comes into play, because Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted, clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. There's no hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/sobad. That's hims.com/sobad for your free online visit. hims.com/sobad. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products included compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. On the Patreon, I'm not one of those like Dumois or Bravo and Cocktails accounts. I love those accounts, but I'm not that account. So even if I get information, there's not tons I do with that because sometimes I just don't want the responsibility. And oftentimes, a lot of the things that you'll get in those DMs prove to be wrong. And I think with these housewives, they have somebody complimenting them extremely, and then they start trusting them, and that's like their first mistake. Bravo celebrities, as much as it's cool that they interact with us sometimes, don't. Don't get lost in the sauce, right? Never make friends with these people. And I'm talking both sides. We shouldn't be making friends with the Bravo celebrities, and they shouldn't be making friends with us. We got to keep it so we can be the untarnished viewers, and that they can just be whack jobs on TV. They get paid way better than us, right? And listen, I've done it. I've become friendly or friends with Bravo celebrities, and it skews your perspective sometimes. And then you end up fighting a battle that makes no sense to the general audience, because the general audience usually only sees what's on their TV unless they do some deep dive digging on Reddit, and even that is hit or miss on if it's correct or not. So there's a lot of different questions, but even if we didn't have those mysteries, the way that they interact with each other is just so damn entertaining. And above all, it's funny. The moments are funny, and they don't ring false. You know, even when somebody really tries, somebody else will knock that cast member down and fight about something completely ridiculous. Or Meredith will bend water. I mean, Britani throws water on Meredith. Meredith stops it with the power of her mind, the psychic power of her mind. Did you see it? The water stopped and just spread all around, but not a drop touched Meredith. They talked about somebody like Meredith in the Bible, I believe. I have not found that passage, but I think I remember saying, the one that could say, "You can leave, cannot be touched. The visage will not be touched by H2O. No, you can leave, water. It's me, Meredith Marks." That would be crazy if Meredith Marks turns out to be some sort of saint. It's like revealed on the season finale when she's like floating 6 foot above land. Like, is Meredith completely floating? She's not on the ground anymore. What's going on? It is I, DJ Meredith Marks, and the ones and twos. Bow to me. Oh my God, tin roof rusted. Meredith is fucking floating. I gotta call John. We start off this episode beautifully. It is a flash forward, but we don't know that yet. And we see the mysterious dark waters. We see clouds in the distance, and you hear the swooshing of water, and it's very ominous. Swish, swish, swish. The wind is blowing. The camera goes underneath the water. You can barely make out something. It's the coral reef of some sort, and you hear an echoey voice go, "Are you okay?" And then we see the camera pop out of the water, and we see a super yacht. And then we hear our Chief Stew go, Jason, can you hear me? Can you please come up to the main saloon? Jason. And then you hear Heather yell in a voiceover, "Get off the yacht! Get off the fucking yacht!" And glasses are breaking. You see wet towels strewn above the yacht floor. And then you hear Lisa go, "Oh my God, I'm crying right now." And then Captain Jason's like, all crew, mayday, mayday. We have a person overboard. And then we see a shot of a unicorn doll floating in the ocean. And you hear somebody go, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." But we don't know what that unicorn is yet. We have yet to get in the information that Jared has given this to Britani as a remember me. There's probably some weird hidden camera in there. He's probably just like watching these ladies in a weird pervy way. Jared, if you're watching, huge fan. So this unicorn is just floating out there in the middle of the sea. And if you thought what I thought during this episode, every time you saw that unicorn, we got to get that for the reality show museum. We got to. And then anyways, we hear the choral music. Oh! And the below deck down under, the signage pops up on the screen, and that goes into the water, and then the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City logo pops up, and the choral music keeps going, ah, 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 ah. And then we pick back up to, we're in Salt Lake City, and the choral music is all fun, like, oh, 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 oh. And it's 10:55 at night at the Salt Lake City airport. And we see all the ladies going into this aeropuerto. Angie K, Britani, Heather, Whitney, they're all very excited. Mary Cosby's like, my bags are always so heavy. And she has like 3 bags she's trying to lug in. How does nobody help Mary Cosby? My God. And she's just winded. And she's like, I hate this part. We all do. Mary Cosby, woman of the people. Whitney goes, I just got a text from Bronwyn. She says, hey, I'm sorry for the late notice. I'm not going to make my flight. At one point, I thought I was like, can Whitney read? Because she was like sounding it out. She's like, I'm not going to make my flight. Have safe trip. And I was like, oh shit, this would be a hard time to find out a housewife can't read. But she gets through it. She did sound it out. And when he goes, I'm coming still. I'm just going to meet you in Kanawha to get on the boat. Can't wait to see you all. Now, remember where we left off last week was the Todd father in the final scene was like, what are we going to do about this information that all these ladies put out there? Did that goddamn Lisa Barlow do this? Oh, I don't know why you'd want to go on a boat trip with these hags. That's not a direct quote. That's just paraphrasing, right? Whitney in a talking head goes, I'm not surprised that Bronwyn is coming late. I'll be surprised if she comes at all. What I seen in the headlines? And we have the headlines pop up. Bronwyn Newport, checkered felony past coming back to haunt her. Grand theft and identity theft charges resurfaced from 2021. It's serious, Whitney says. She's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. Because if she does come, we're all going to talk about it. And if she doesn't come, we're all going to talk about it. Dude, I love Whitney. I do. I'm sorry. Anyways, we're waiting for Mary. Brittany finally sees Mary come in, and Brittany's like, stop it. Mary Cosby as I live and breathe. Mary seems like she just has been through a war walking 5 feet with this luggage. So anyways, they got to go meet Lisa and Meredith at the gate. They meet up and Meredith's like, hey guys, what's going on? We do the hugs and we are on the airplane. Britani's sitting next to Heather and Brittany's like, we're so excited. This is the start of Yellow Jackets season 1. And Brittany's like, where are we going, Heather? And Heather goes, we're going first to Newark, then to Barbados, and then to Kanawha. Is there not a direct to Kanawha? That seems like a lot of layovers. That could be a whole series of TV right there. Ask Mary Cosby on the plane where they're going, and Mary's like, I don't know. You know, Mary Cosby, I feel like just get her there. She doesn't even need to really, truly know where she's going. But that's the great thing about Mary Cosby these days, is she's game for anything. Just don't even tell me where we're going. Eventually, it's going to be a boat, I hear. Anyways, it takes them like 14 hours or something crazy to get there. And they're getting out of the airport in Kanawha, and they're getting picked up by like a minivan with a door, like an automatic door. And Lisa goes, we love an auto close. We love airbags and an auto close. Oh my God. We love a car air conditioning. Yes. And so all the ladies are hyped up to get in the minivan. They're all cheering. They're all saying, Kanawha! And then we see the beautiful Kanawha land and the beautiful blue water. And Lisa Barlow is like, isn't this where all the billionaires come? And the driver's like, it's a billionaire's playground. And Heather's like, you guys, that's what we're getting on right now. Because they see the super yacht. And I got to tell you, the ship is I'm watching Below Deck Mediterranean right now, and they got a mini yacht. We need these big super yachts. I don't like the yacht that Below Deck Med is on this season at all. But anyways, Heather takes an opportunity because they say it's a big yacht. And Heather's like, that's what she said. Heather Gay, the Michael Scott of Salt Lake City. So all the ladies are slow-mo walking up to the yacht, and the whole deck crew is out there to greet them, just like on a Below Deck episode. And Captain Jason's like, hi, Heather. Hi, Whitney. Remember, I can't do accent work very good, so this is going to sound like my horrible Brock imitation from the Valley. And Heather immediately goes up and does the kiss-hug thing with Captain Jason. A very familiar kiss-hug, if you catch my drift. Like, they squeeze, Captain Jason's squeezing her like it's going to help him get more seasons on Below Deck or something, right? And he's like, oh, it's so good to see you, Captain Jason. He's like, you too, gorgeous. All right. Heather goes, I met Captain Jason when I was on a trip in Australia with Whitney, and we hung out for about a week and had the best time together. Why don't we see that footage? My God, it makes it sound like they were just like naked in bed for like 6 days eating ding-dongs or something, right? Anyways, we flash back to winter in Salt Lake City where Heather is on FaceTime with Captain Jason saying that she would love to take the girls on your yacht and have you be our captain. You're a little bit more my captain than their captain, Heather says. Heather always trying to hey, I am the top dog, okay? And then Captain Jason goes, you're trying to trap me at sea? Why are you being pervy already, Captain Jason? You're trying to trap me at sea? You're trying to get to my bits and parts? And then Heather goes, I am. Trap you at sea, maritime law when it applies, you know? And he's like, that would be amazing. We got to really bring our A game for you. The producer goes, if you were stuck on an island, Heather, with Captain Jason, what would you bring? And Heather goes, a bikini and condoms. And then she goes, ha 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 ha. Dude, yeah, your bikini and condoms. You know you would let him raw dog it. Are you kidding me? You're just saying condoms because you know you have family watching. You'd like get on that island and be like, Captain Jason, we can use those condoms as a raft because I don't need them. Ride 'em, cowboy. Woo! Sorry, guys. This is a family show. Anyways, Lisa Barlow's talking to the crew on deck, and she's like, I'll probably be your lowest maintenance guest. And Heather's like, ladies, everybody's got to be on their best behavior. Angie K is hugging each one of these people like they're a long-lost Greek relative. And she's like, I love you already. Let's do wife swap together one day. And Lisa's like, she's going back through to everybody. She needs attention, Angie K. Like, Angie's like touching people on their faces. It's wild. But I like it. It's very sweet. So they're like, let's get on the boat. Come on, get finished hugging these ladies. And Heather keeps going, Angie, listen, I'm the primary. Okay, let's get on the boat. So everybody's all smiles at this point. And Jason's like, ladies, thank you very much. We're going to get you nice and well acquainted to the boat with Daisy. And we're going to cruise around for about an hour and get to a spot and hopefully get you wet. And everybody pauses. And get you in the water, he says. And Heather's like, oh, damn, Captain Jason. Woo. And then Joelle's like, the other way around. And Captain Jason's like, oh, yeah, the other way around. But I am going to get you really wet, ladies. Ha, 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 yeah. And Angie's like, we're getting off to a great start. And I got to say, we are getting off to a great start. I was like smiling like a kid watching this. I was like, yeah, get him wet, get him wet. In a talking head, Lisa Barlow goes, any chance I get to get on a yacht? I'm like, yes, pick me. I'm in. But this will be so nice for Angie. She's usually in an RV. Lisa Barlow just trying to get her little digs in the talking head repeatedly, which is sometimes it's funny, but sometimes you're like, okay, Lisa, we get it. We get it. Angie says, I've never been on a yacht in my life, but I see Lisa and my good energy goes like, wah, wah, wah. I'm planning on keeping my distance. Or I could stand next to her and make my ankles look smaller. Oh, just kidding. Angie, Mary said, don't participate. Don't do this back and forth, Angie. You're both going to lose, okay? So the ladies come in and Lisa's like, oh my gosh, all I do is love a good greeting with a cocktail because they're greeted with these like pink signature cocktail drinks, right? They have champagne. They got margarita shots as well. And Lisa goes, after this one, I'll only do my tequila. How much Vita tequila do you think Lisa brought with her? And then Lisa goes, I'll make sure you have the Vita tequila on the yacht. Outside, JWoww's like, look how many fucking bags they have. This is the worst part of yachting is the fucking bags. So the shots are getting passed around, and Brittany's like, what is this shot? And he's like, a margarita shot. And Brittany's like, a margarita shot. Accent work. A margarita shot. And Brittany's smiling like this is potentially her next husband that will take her away from her daughters. And Brittany's like, I love your accent. Oh my God. In a talking head, she goes, I am in a smorgasbord of dick heaven right now. She didn't say the dick part. So everybody does a cheers, and Heather goes, to the good time, girl. Brittany says, there are men everywhere. And not only just men, but like hot ones with big muscles. All is right with the world. Now, this is a good-looking crew, but, I mean, this isn't like a bunch of Brad Pitts, you know what I'm saying? Mary Cosby's already sitting on the couch as all the other ladies are standing and cheersing. And Daisy finds out that Bronwyn is not there yet, right? And when he's like, if she arrives after we've taken off, how will she get to us? Will she have to swim? And Daisy's like, I'll organize it. You don't have to worry. We'll organize transport to bring her to the boat. Yeah. So now they're getting a tour of the boat itself. They got the jacuzzi. You got the sun lounger. It all looks amazing. So much space, you guys. This is how the other half lives. We see the dinner area where a lot of good fights will happen, where they'll eat most of their meals. And then we get to see the cabins. There's 4 bedrooms. There's the primary. And Meredith goes, I really need the one with the tub because I'm like a mermaid in that movie Splash. I need water on my body at all times. Heather says, I'm staking my claim. Who wants to room with me? And Wendy's like, I do. Bad weather. Woo. So they're in one room, right? And then the other rooms, Meredith and Lisa are sharing a room, but these are really nice rooms. And Mary and Angie K are sharing a room. And so these are really all very nice bedrooms. The sad thing is Bronwyn has to bunk up with Brittany Bateman, right? And Brittany's like, wait, I'm sharing with Bronwyn? And she groans in a talking head. And she goes, I'm a little nervous. What are we going to do in a room trapped for days? And Heather goes, Brittany, you have grit. You can do this. You're a trooper. And Brittany's like, we're going to kill each other. And Heather goes, she might not even show. Don't worry, right? So they're getting ready to launch the boat. We see Ben, the head chef. Ben is a Below Deck legend if you don't watch Below Deck. So it's huge that he's back. So we see the kitchen, him prepping. All the ladies now are going up to the top to watch them take off. And it really just looks like a beautiful, beautiful experience. But we know as professional reality show viewers that this is only going to go down into hell directly after this. Heather says, listen, ladies, I need to gather you around. Listen, Whitney and I are actually like friends with Captain Jason. We are actually personal, real-life friends with Cap. I have seen this man's pubes, okay, guys? And I want us to be in our... And Lisa's like, where is Captain Jason? And Whitney's like, he's driving the boat. He's driving the boat. And Captain Jason's like, stabilizers on. Stabilizers on. Whitney goes, ladies, he doesn't know that we are totally crazy. And Brittany goes, I'm a sucker for the leader of the ship. You mean the captain, Brittany? And Brittany goes, if he's into me, I'm into him. That's legitimately probably how she's gotten every boyfriend and husband. If he's into me, I will throw every other relative overboard. You know what I'm saying? If he's into me, I will risk it all. Heather in a talking head goes, I admire Brittany's fervor for the opposite sex. And Brittany goes, listen, I'm not like the type to overtly flirt. He needs to flirt with me first. What are we in junior high? Are they going to play like a Phil Collins song? Like, baby, you and me've got a groovy kind of love. We've got a groovy kind of love. Brittany, all you do is flirt. And it's great. I love it. But don't act like okay, you've got to pass him this note. And it's going to say, check one box. If you're into Brittany, check yes. If you're not into Brittany, check no. And then I'll know. Heather says, I am all for Brittany having her Jack and Rose. That Heather, because that moment literally led to Jack's death. Like that, I've talked about this nonstop. The way that Kate, I can't get in it. We have a busy, but I mean, Kate Winslet's so greedy as her character Rose. Like literally, legitimately, it's like, no, God, you jump, I jump. Fuck that. You let that poor Leo DiCaprio's character, you let Jack Dawson die in cold water. But Heather goes, I want her to feel like the king of the world without the boat sinking. Hey-o, womp womp. Lisa goes, oh my God, what about Jared? And Brittany goes, we're on a 30-day break. What? This isn't like Alcoholics Anonymous. Like with 30, I've got my 30-day Jared chip, you guys. And Heather goes, really, you're into Captain Jason, Brittany? And Brittany's like, and I would like to hang out with Captain Jason. In a talking head, Britani says, after my reading with Terrence, the psychiatrist, where I, told him about being disconnected with my daughters, remember Terrence says, you got to focus on these relationships, And we had that very moving scene with Brittany's daughter last week's episode, and you think her head would be completely screwed on tight now. So Brittany says, I decided to do the 30-day break. It's a 30-day Jared cleanse, you guys. But then he showed up to help me pack the day that I left. Like, how are you doing a 30-day? If you're doing a 30-day Jared break, did you tell Jared? Because who just shows up to help you pack? He should be respectful enough. I bet you didn't tell him you were on a 30-day Jared break. You probably didn't say a break at all. And you just thought, well, a week I'll be gone for filming, so I won't see him then. And then I just got to find ways to not let him know about our 30-day break for 3 more weeks. So she says that Jared came over to help her pack. And she goes, Anne, you can't have Jared show up and not attack this man, right? Anyways, Lisa's like, I want to sit. Let's sit, ladies. Come on. So they're sitting down and Meredith is trying to communicate with Britani. And she's like, so if you're saying you want to go for Captain Jason, it's all good. We don't want to hear one word about that stinky Jared Osmond, okay? And Wendy goes, in fact, if you say Jared's name on this trip, we're going to splash you with water. And then Britani goes, Jared, Jared, Jared. Every time you say Jared 3 times, he appears like Beetlejuice or Candyman or whatever that wives' tale was. And then so Britani says, Jared, Jared, Jared. And Meredith goes, Arr! And she grabs not a water glass, a water pitcher, you guys, and literally dumps the whole pitcher over Britani's head. And Meredith goes, ha, 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 ha. And I love, because a normal, like a housewife in their 4th season, Britani, those would have been fighting. Like that water hits her and she would have like lunged for Meredith. But Britani's just happy to be included. She's like, you guys, you love me. Nah. And Meredith goes, I like Whitney's idea. And the deck crew sees this and like, you guys are naughty. And Heather's like, we told you we'd hold you accountable, Britani. We told you. And Meredith goes, for once I agree with Whitney. So Bronwyn, we find out, is on her way. And Heather seems already buzzed. She's like, oh my God, Bronwyn's coming. Yes, yes. That's the other thing, dude. Watch Heather get drunker and drunker as this day and night continues. And we see a boat out in the distance. Bronwyn is coming. And Heather's like, we got to greet her. We want her to feel welcome. We'll find out later the details of her criminal activity. So all the ladies are screaming, Bronwyn, Bronwyn, Bronwyn. And we see Bronwyn like solo. Somebody's driving the boat, but she's solo in the back wearing this insane yellow outfit, which is a big, gigantic, like yellow life preserver made into this beautiful, artistic, weirdo dress that I love. It's like something out of The Fifth Element. Bronwyn in a talking head's like, I don't know what I'm walking into. I'm sure that these women have seen these allegations. I'm sure they've discussed it. And of course, I have Todd's words reverberating in the back of my head. And we flash back to Todd last week's episode. I can't, these motherfuckers, it's unclear to me why you want to go and spend time with this Lisa, this bottom dweller, someone that continually lies about you. I don't know why you get in the gutter with that gutter snake Lisa Barlow. Bronwyn's like, I really just want to like have fun and enjoy these women's company. I'm hoping that is how they feel about me. And Heather's like, Lisa, your best friend is here, Bronwyn. And Lisa goes, she always wears a costume. Oh, my God. And then Lisa goes, oh, my God, I've seen this look before. I've seen that on Instagram. And then we pop up Bronwyn's Instagram from May of 2023. Bronwyn is on another yacht, so this is not Bronwyn's first yacht by any stretch of the imagination. And she has worn this beautiful outfit before. I don't know enough about fashion. Can you not rewear the same, this is like couture, it looks like. Isn't that okay to wear this at multiple yachts? Who knows? Not according to Lisa, I guess. And Lisa goes, for me, I just feel like she's got a lot on her plate right now, especially after, and then she's like, what do you know? Why are you saying that? And Lisa goes, trying to retaliate against me. And Britani goes, I know stuff, and you know stuff too. And Lisa goes, I mean, we all saw it, Britani. In a talking head, Lisa goes, Bronwyn and I are fine, and I don't like to throw around the word karma. I think it's grossly overused. But why did you come for me so hard when you've got such icky skeletons in your closet? And she's smiling like, ha, 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 ha. She doesn't really help her case a lot when she takes such glee. And listen, I'm sorry. Blogs, like talking to bloggers and all that shit is very different than like the Salt Lake City Tribune. Like I wouldn't consider that a content creator. Like that's an actual newspaper that did a story on Bronwyn, right? Sorry, they did a story on Lisa. I don't think Bronwyn was like the deep throat of that story. Anyways, Mary's like, Bronwyn? Oh my, Mary loves Bronwyn's outfit. So Heather is like just so jazzed that Bronwyn's there. And Lisa's like, you came with your own life raft. Yay. She half-asses that comment. But she's basically wearing a giant life preserver, but it looks amazing. So everybody's hugging each other. And Wendy goes, is this fashion or costume what you're wearing? And Bronwyn's like, it's a mix. It's a mix. I didn't want a whole entrance. I'm sorry you ladies had to do this. And so they're all going to change and come back in their bikinis for lunch. You know, Heather's like, I'm going to show off this bod that I've been working so hard on, right? And Britani tells Bronwyn, I can't believe we are literally sleeping in the same bed together. And that's when Bronwyn jumps overboard at that moment. End of episode. But Bronwyn's like, we're sleeping in the same bed together. What? She goes, well, bitch, my name is Bronwyn, not Jared. We're not sleeping in the same bed together. And then everybody's like, I heard Jared's name. More water, more water. And oh my God, Meredith takes another jug of water and throws it again on Britani. This is Meredith's bit now. We cut to our first commercial break. The deck crew is putting their luggage into their rooms, and Wendy's like, be careful with this bag. It has all of my valuables, and we're also missing a nipple cover. And Heather's like, yeah, I'm like riding shotgun with just one nipple cover right now. There's a gigantic nipple cover that's like considered a boat outside on the water right now. And Heather keeps doing that like thing that the kids do, making their hands into a heart. Like, let's grow up, guys. Let's stop doing these heart little things. Anyways, so they're going to try to find that nipple cover. Who knows? We see Ben working on the food. Daisy's like, all crew, a guest has lost their nipple cover. Please let me know if you find it. They mistake it as a huge jellyfish in the ocean. Angie and Mary Cosby in their room, and Angie's like, I gotta face this way. I'm starting to get a little seasick. Are you, Mary? Are you? And Mary's like, no, I don't get seasick. I get land sick. And Bronwyn is unpacking it, and Britani goes, here's my unicorn. And Bronwyn's like, you brought a stuffed animal? And then she presses the stuffed animal, and it says, good night, baby. You are loved. Good night, baby. You are loved. Like she's showing off for Bronwyn. Like Bronwyn would be like, well, Todd got me this beautiful stuffed animal. And you press it, and it's like, I think Lisa Barlow's gutter trash. Anyway, she throws the unicorn on the bed and goes, that's right. And Bronwyn's like, I'm throwing that shit overboard. Now, this turns out to be Whitney and Heather's room, but they never say it in the episode. They try to make this like a mystery. But if you freeze frame, you see like two masks. It looks like a Freddy Krueger mask on one pillow and then another mask on another. And you see the same book on Whitney's nightstand that you see later when Whitney's in the bed. And the deck crew is unwrapping or unboxing the luggage. And there's a huge, guys, I'm talking a girthy cucumber. Like imagine it's not lengthwise, but the girth of this cucumber is very huge. Like who just packs it's not in like a plastic baggie or anything, it's just a cucumber in the luggage. So this is Whitney's cucumber. Though it's never called out as Whitney's cucumber, like full on yet. And I'm sure we'll find out in another episode. Maybe Whitney wants to do cucumber eye patches. I don't know what the purpose of bringing a cucumber is. And somebody pointed out that sometimes when you're traveling overseas, you're not allowed to bring fruits and vegetables on board. So is this illegal? Anyways, in Lisa and Meredith's room, Lisa's like, what do you think, Meredith? And Meredith goes, like, Bronwyn showed up in a fully inflatable. And Lisa goes, it's on brand. I wouldn't expect anything less. And Meredith goes, didn't say a word, and we didn't ask, because Heather said not to, so of course we did not. Do you think she'll bring up her charges on her own? Or do you think she's going... And Lisa goes, an iteration of it. An iteration of the truth. The Lisa Barlow story. Well, I'd just like an honest answer. That would be nice. And Lisa goes, I mean, we'll hope we'll get an honest... And by the way, Lisa Barlow has no glam squad. And I got to tell you, Lisa, without like all of the makeup, even though, I mean, I think Lisa really actually looks beautiful without the makeup, like all kidding aside, right? So Bronwyn's still unpacking her stuff. And Britani is saying, are you taking both closets? She's like, I'm taking neither. And Brittany looks just very confused by Bronwyn unpacking. And this is where I was saying, like, Brittany just sometimes just looks like a space alien that is learning how to do human things. And she's always just studying the situation. She always kind of has her mouth half open. Like she's just, not that she's upset, but she's just like studying every situation. And she's wearing, I mean, I didn't really, like, she does look like she's gotten some sort of boob work because she's wearing this like tiny bikini. Anywho, that's not nice to talk about. And Brittany's like, "Why? Where have you been, Bronwyn? Why would you not come with us?" Bronwyn's in hell right now, having to have a scene with Brittany. And Bronwyn's like, "I almost didn't come at all." And Brittany's like, "Wow, why?" "Well, look, I'm not ready to say yet, but somebody in this group is definitely planting stories about me in the press." So once again, this is a variation of the Monica Garcia of the reality Von Tease. There is like an element of that. It's, but at the same time, recycled storylines usually, I think, upset a lot of the audience. And yet I love it. I love it in this situation. And Brittany's like, "I heard about the stories, but you think it's someone from this group?" "Of course I do. Of course it is." And Brittany goes, "The whole grand theft thing isn't true?" "No," Bronwyn says. "You didn't do whatever somebody is saying you did." And Bronwyn's like, "It's changed 18 times. First, I stole a car, and then it was all kinds of weird things, and I'm not going to repeat them. It's disgusting. It's manipulative. It's trying to dig in my past and find something to discredit me. I'm not embarrassed about my past. I made tons of mistakes, Brittany." And Brittany's like, "I think, honestly, Bronwyn, we're all wondering if it's true because it's like, I mean, you can look it up, like it's public record." And Bronwyn's like, "It's not true, and it's not public record. There is some very specific shadiness going on. Bothers me to hear you guys have been talking about it behind my back because not one person called me and asked if I was okay other than Mary, FYI. "Well, good for you, Mary." Mary just calls her and says, like, "Wrong number." Bronwyn in a talking head says there's mistakes that she's made in the past. We're talking 20 years ago. She was evicted from the last apartment she lived in after she left to have her baby in California. All of those things are a long time ago and true, Bronwyn says. And then there is a case that they're trying to say is current, that is 10 plus years ago. And the only thing they can find, because it's been sealed, is a penal code that the case was referencing to. And identity theft, grand theft, fraud, all of those things are listed under that same penal code. Which, by the way, can't she just say which one of those things? I mean, is the seal that you can't say any of those things? We do have some Reddit information that I'll read later in the episode, but you got to take all that with a grain of salt. The problem here, though, with any of these ladies, but especially Bronwyn, because she did lie about the necklace, she did get caught in that fib. You got to be careful, right? Because the audience will only go so far with you. And even if you think I can explain something away, these moments, Bronwyn's got to be really careful because all of these words will come back to haunt her because the Bravo audience, we are what you call not super chill, right? But Bronwyn says it's embarrassing. It's also incredibly difficult because of the stress it puts on her family. Yeah, you don't want to embarrass Muzzy or Todd. You're disappointing me. This is Muzzy and you disappoint me. And this is Todd and you've ruined my respectability collecting Starbucks mugs. So Bronwyn's like, when I said this to Todd, he said, I don't think you should fly halfway across the world to be with people who do this. It's upsetting for him. Todd doesn't deal in nastiness and lies. He doesn't deal in rumors. Todd is a serious person. His company is serious. Well, that's weird because I always thought he was like a super fun-loving guy. Anywho, his business is serious. He works with serious people. Is he in the mob? So if it upsets my daughter, if it upsets my husband, I need time to figure it out with them. And Brittany just goes, interesting. Somebody doing something for their daughter. Huh. Interesting. Who would do that? Now, the deck crew, one of the deck crew is talking to Daisy, and she's like, you know what I found? You want to know? A cucumber. And Daisy's like, huh? And they look at each other, a knowingly female look between each other. And she goes, in their bag. And the one guy's like, no, you didn't. And she goes, it was thick. Like it was this thick. It was thick. The cucumber was this thick. And she goes, I put it next to their bed. I don't know if it was a midnight snack or... In a talking head, the producer asks the ladies, first Meredith, did you pick a gigantic cucumber with you? And Meredith goes, what? What? Heather says, what kind of question is that? Bronwyn's like, where would I even get a cucumber? I don't cook. It would be great if Todd is like, I play little pranks on Bronwyn where I'll put fruits and veggies and certain meats and sundries into luggage and, just surprise her, right? Angie goes, everybody's going to think it's me because there's cucumbers in Greek salads. Listen, I love that Angie's Greek, but I didn't even think for a second. When I heard cucumber, I wasn't like, fucking Greek salad. I didn't think that at all. I think what a lot of people thought and what the producers wanted us to thought that they were using it as some sort of pleasure device. I know, that sounds like crazy and sick, but that's what they wanted us to think, I think. And if not, I'm so sorry I introduced that thought to anybody. I'm so sorry. We cut back to Angie and Mary's room, and Angie's running for the bathroom, and we hear a... And Mary just calmly goes, you okay? You okay? Outside, the other ladies are dancing in their bikinis. The lunch is getting ready. Glamour shots are being taken. It's still, besides Angie K, everybody seems like they are having the time of their lives. The food is starting to be presented. The meal looks beautiful, but there's like these huge burger sliders and then lobster curry salad as Angie K's walking out. If I was like throwing up viciously and I heard lobster curry salad, it would be dunzo all over. Like, ugh! So Heather's like, ladies, it's our first meal together on the yacht. She's like reaching for her Chardonnay. Angie's like sitting like 30 feet away in the sun, just wondering what she's doing with her life. And when he's like, is everything okay though? Over there? Oh no, she's like, they asked Bronwyn, is everything okay, Bronwyn, at home? And Bronwyn's like, it's just a lot of stuff went on last week and it upset Todd. People keep trying to dig in my past and twist things and say things that aren't true, and he kind of felt like maybe I'd be better at home and then out here, and he locked me in the basement, but I'm very smart and I found a way to escape. No, but everybody's listening to this. And Meredith goes, I didn't look into specifics, but like I saw things that went from just a few years back to 20 years back. I was harvesting caviar, but I took a little time to look into your case. And Bronwyn just shakes her head. And then Heather goes, I saw stuff that was 2021, which is 4 years old. Good math. And Meredith goes, I think it would be in your best interest to just clear it up because it looks a lot worse. And then my guess is it is, But has Meredith ever cleared anything up? Has Lisa ever cleared anything up? I'm not saying that I don't want Bronwyn to clear things up, but I am saying there is a history of not clearing things up on these shows. I mean, think about it. We still don't know half of New York that Meredith slept with, that Lisa kept saying over and over again. There are so many secrets that are put out there that we never get clarification on. And I like it. It adds to that Twin Peaks David Lynch kind of vibe that I like. But Meredith goes, is that a clear statement, Bronwyn? And she's like, it is. Yes, of course. I got kicked out of BYU 20 years ago. And when I left BYU, I did not pay my last month of rent. It took me a few months to get my life together, and there was a judgment that I didn't pay my last couple months' rent at my apartment. I mean, that was 20 years ago. I was 19. I was pregnant. I got kicked out of college. And Mary goes, how is that even coming up in the press? Like, Mary, how is that even the BYU? How is that coming up in the press? And Heather goes, but the charges that are coming out now are 4 years old. And Bronwyn's like, there are no charges against me from 4 years ago, Heather. This new thing people are trying to say is that there was something that went on at my work, and I cooperated with authorities about it. They were not charges against me. And years later, all of the charges against not me went through, but it was sealed. And Lisa goes, why? Can't discuss it. I can't discuss it. The whole case was sealed, which is why people are speculating, because nobody can get any information on a case that's sealed. And Heather goes, why would they file charges on your record then? And Bronwyn's like, there's no charges that are filed about me. There's no mugshot. There's no police. And by the way, if there was a mugshot, Bronwyn would be serving. But she says there's nothing. Absolutely not. And Heather goes, so why is it so upsetting then, Bronwyn? And Lisa goes, yeah, then why would it matter? And Bronwyn's like, well, both of us kind of felt like there's some like nasty things that have come out in the press after I've hung out with this group of friends. And I think both of us are concerned that maybe somebody in this group is doing it. Maybe it's like Bronwyn not at all, but Todd's feeling the heat because maybe Todd's like got some unsavory business. He's like, the heat's getting too close to the Todd father. I'm not liking where this is going. But but Bronwyn said it, is that it's not worrisome, except we think there's some bad vibes in the group and somebody's trying to take us down. And then Lisa immediately goes, I don't think it's anybody here. Nobody here would do that. We've been hanging out for a long time and nobody would do that here. I will say that is literally the most guilty thing that you can say, because what the fuck are you saying? That's legitimately what the last 5 seasons of this show have been, are people throwing each other the bus and digging up information. And don't feel bad, Lisa, because all Housewives iterations does that. OC does that. You're going to see on the season finale of OC tonight, the same thing. The same shit is done. So it's not new, but for Lisa to be like, what are you talking about? This is a good group of ladies that have never had any drama about our pasts. And Bronwyn is staring like, what the fuck are you saying? And Whitney's like, are you fucking kidding me? And Whitney is so panicked she drops a knife and then just acts like she didn't do it. Heather's even one eye open, what did Lisa just say? Whitney has a kind of a knowing smile. And when he goes, how are they getting detailed information? It has to be dug up and spun. Remember the Alibaba, my Alibaba storyline from last season? There's legitimately, that's what we do on this show. But Bronwyn goes, I agree with Whitney. It is weird that stuff comes up in this group all the time. It is weird. And then Lisa goes, I don't think it's weird. You know who doesn't think it's weird? I don't. I think it's pretty cool and not a big deal at all. I'm just being super direct. I don't think it's weird that you dug up stuff on me. And Bronwyn just stares at her. Just bringing stuff to the group when I wasn't there. I'm just being clear. Once again, I love that now newspapers are so not read at all that's bringing something to the group. Back in the old days, newspapers would be everybody would know what was in the paper. And now it's I can't believe somebody showed a front page of a newspaper to somebody. You brought that to the group. Otherwise, they would have never heard about it because nobody reads except for Instagram captions. But Lisa goes, I upset you, Bronwyn, and I felt that was and Brittany's sitting right next to Lisa and holds up and goes, 4 lawsuits. 4 lawsuits as Lisa's talking. And she goes, a little bit of retaliation? I do not believe one person here. And Bronwyn's that's what I'm worried about, is that I've upset somebody and they're doing this. And Lisa's no, nope. Wow. And Heather in a talking head goes, pipe down, Lisa, you're revealing yourself. She's clearly saying, don't put 2 and 2 together in case anyone here is putting 2 and 2 together. And then Lisa goes, don't spin this on me. And she looks at all the ladies. Don't spin this on me because you got targeted, because that'll fucking piss me off. And Heather in a talking head goes, my lawsuit's leaked and someone did that to me, but no one here ever do that to you, and certainly not in retaliation. And then Mary goes, well, you know who you're talking about? It's not just anybody random out of the group. And Bronwyn goes, I don't know. I don't. So Bronwyn is not saying, she wasn't even saying Lisa. And Lisa immediately was don't look at me. And then Lisa says right now, it's not me. It's not me. And then Mary Cosby very directly goes, you guys think it's Lisa? And Lisa goes, I've never done that to anybody here. But we do have a scene earlier this season where Angie K meets with Meredith saying that Lisa wanted, Lisa had information on Meredith Marks and wanted her to, so we do know Lisa thinks in that way. We just don't we need the Watergate. We need the deep throat. We need to be able to prove something. And the thing is, I got to just be honest. I love this show so much. This is going to be bad. If Lisa did do any of these things, I'm okay with it. It's great TV. It's really good TV. I hated Jen Shaw. I got to be honest. I thought she was not entertaining. I thought she worked way too hard at trying to be a spastastic housewife, but I didn't like her at all. I like Lisa. So if she did, what's a little crime amongst friends? Come on, can we just say, Lisa, if you did it, you get a free pass. And which Lisa, we don't care. Just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe get a different glam team because you had that one smoky eye that looked like a bruised eye earlier in the season. But other than that, it's fantastic work, right? But Lisa's that's a trigger for me and bums me out. And Bronwyn was well, it would really bother me if it was somebody in this group of friends. I don't think any of us should do that to each other. The producers were cameras down. Bronwyn, we got to talk to you. Bronwyn, do you realize that's what the fucking show is about? And then Heather goes, Bronwyn, who do you think it came from? And Bronwyn goes, look, I'm just going to say this. I'm not accusing anybody, but after Amy's, it intensified. Oh my God, remember Amy? Utah socialite Amy that was in the first 3 episodes that they just seemed to have her hosting events? Where Amy socialite Amy didn't even get to go on the boat trip. What was the point of introducing Amy's Utah socialite for 3 episodes and we don't even get her on the boat trip? So that's who she's saying. But after Amy's, it intensified. And I had a lot of fights at Amy's, and after the lunch I came to where you had clarification, Lisa, I thought you and I cleared things up, and we had a sit down and we talked. And Lisa goes, we did, and I didn't do anything to you. And Bronwyn goes, and it intensified. So I don't know where to say this is coming from. And Lisa's like, that sounds like an accusation. That sounds like an accusation. And Bronwyn's like, let me finish. It would be really devastating if I sat down and apologized to you. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And then Lisa starts screaming, who sent my stuff? Who sent my stuff? Who is going to the blogs and Salt Lake Tribune? The Salt Lake Tribune is like, are you fucking kidding me? You said us in the same sentence as blogs? In a talking head, Lisa goes, I'm like so irritated with another accusation as dumb as this one. And then Lisa just goes, okay, you guys, let's just go swimming. This is like irritating. Let's get in the water. It's hot. I'm going to try to it's 100 degrees here. It's literally 50 degrees. She's just burning up because everybody's looking at her. In a talking head, Lisa goes, I didn't do that to you. You can fucking think it's me, but I'm not going to be the scapegoat again. I'm not going to be a scapegoat again. I'm so frustrated right now. This is like fucking bullshit. In a talking head, Whitney goes, no one even accused you, bitch. Like the reason we know it's you is because you give yourself away. And then Heather's like leaning on the railing and Heather's leaning on the railing and Lisa's next to her. And Lisa's like, that got spun. And Heather goes, yeah, you're fucked. And Lisa goes, no, I'm not. I'm not fucked. That got spun. And right then when Heather says, yeah, you're fucked, I was like, damn, Heather's had she's had a few wines. She's feeling loose where she like gave a little lip back to Lisa Barlow. So Lisa's clocking the situation like, oh shit, I'm going to have to pivot. Because Lisa does a lot of the same things, right? She'll start yelling. If that doesn't work, she'll start crying. She'll try to ingratiate. She has like these ways of working. And I think they're all really fascinating to watch, but it's interesting to watch Lisa spin out. I just want to know if it's valid or not. And it's one thing for Bronwyn, because Bronwyn actually does have somebody coming after her in some way. I just do wonder what Heather knows that she is feeling comfortable going against Lisa in this episode. I feel like she knows something specific or she wouldn't risk her friendship with Lisa, because Lisa from the first scene has meant something symbolically to Heather because Lisa didn't give her the time of day in college and made her feel less than. So now when Heather's getting a little bit of power and being able to be friendly or be able to reach out a helping hand to Lisa Barlow, I think she takes that very seriously. So what does Heather know that she is not sharing with us? Remember, Heather pretty much, even though she says she didn't, orchestrated the reality Von Tease Monica Garcia legendary moment at the end of season 4. So I don't think Heather would say any of this stuff unless she has bulletproof information. We come back out. Everybody's in their bikinis on the deck laying out. Angie K comes down with a literal vomit bucket. And I'm like, this is golden age of television. Heather is laying out on the raft and she's like, take a thirst trap of me, somebody. Is my butt showing? Yeah. I did. And so everybody's in the water with the pool toys. You know, it's normal below deck behavior. Captain Jason is even out there in the water. Mary Cosby is sitting on the like a beautiful deck chair, and she's like, this is luxurious. And then Heather is like being floated around on a little skidoo with Captain Jason, and Heather's now really feeling it. She's like, I'm going to ride him like a fucking bronco. Yeah. And Brittany's watching kind of like, that's my man. What are you talking about? That's you're going to ride Captain Jason. He's my guy. But we're all still having a good time. Whitney is underwater on one of the pool toys. Heather is now in a chair with Brittany and they're hugging. Heather's drunk as a skunk. And Heather's like, this is a great trip. And Brittany's like, okay, but you're canoodling with Jason. And Heather goes, I know, but Jason and I are friends. We have a history. And Brittany goes, he's not interested in me. And then Heather goes, we fucked around before, but there's nothing there. As Brittany goes, what? And Brittany's like, what are you talking about? You fucked around before. And Heather goes, friends. I'm saying we're friends. There's latitude. What does that even mean? There's latitude. I let him feel up my private parts. Or as Shannon Bedore would say, above the neck. Above the neck. But you know, Heather's like, below the neck. In a talking head, Heather goes, I said that? Oh my God. Serious-faced? You can't use that. I don't know why I said that to her. Because you're staking your territory. You're pissing your line in the sand. And Heather's like, delete. Oh, but I did let him feel my boobies. Brittany goes, I'm a little jealous. And Heather goes, jump in. Go get him. I love it, like, jump in. Go swim after him. And Brittany goes, no, I don't operate like that. I'll wait till Jason gives me a stuffed animal with sayings in it. Which, by the way, I keep thinking about that unicorn stuffed animal. That needs to be the next Pixar film, is about a unicorn that has that has an Osmond voice, Jared Osmond's voice. Hi, I'm the new Pixar film. So Lisa is talking to Brittany now. There's an inflatable swan, and Lisa's like, oh my God, I would love a duck. So I guess Lisa doesn't know that between a duck and a swan, who cares? Now, Brittany is being helped on to this swan, and now Brittany's flirting with Joao, and she's like, I do like your muscles, I have to say. And Joao's like, thank you very much. Like, what do you say to somebody that's like, I like your muscles? I've never had that say. Nobody's ever said that to me, so I don't know what you say. But Brittany's like, help me, Joao, help me. I'm like drifting away. And Lisa's like, you're going to have to paddle. Be the duck, Brittany. Be the duck. And now Brittany's like paddling on the swan, and it looks completely ridiculous and so funny. Lisa in a talking head goes, Brittany's in pursuit of a man, and she's not going to stop, even if she's floating away on a duck, which is actually a swan. And Lisa's like, oh my God, they're so far out there now. Can someone go help our friends? Because a lot of the friends have now floated deep into the ocean. Imagine like you're castaway and all of a sudden like Real Housewives float by you. But Lisa's like, oh my gosh, this is so funny to me. And she's like, do people get seasick or, you know, like, and the crew guy's like, no, that's normal as Angie's getting rescued out of the water. Poor Angie, why would you even get in the water if you are this sick? Anyway, she's like now pulled up on this like life raft and she's like, oh, I'm going to barf again. I'm not going to barf. I'm going to barf. And then this is when we see Angie hanging off of this raft, trying to catch her vomit. And Mary goes, is Angie throwing up? And Heather's drunk goes, Eddie told me he's throwing up 1,000 times. To clutch his leg and it would help, as Heather's like clutching onto Eddie's leg as Angie continues to vomit. She's just like throwing up again and again. And Lisa's like, oh my gosh, that's the worst. He's a trooper. And it's talking to Angie says she is not having fun. And Angie now, Heather is holding on to one leg. Angie's holding on to the other leg. Heather looks like she's like enjoying it romantically. Angie looks like she's holding on for dear life. And Lisa's like, oh my gosh. In a talking head, Angie says she felt so ugly vomiting. And the worst part is she's so sick that she can't even suck in and she's in a goddamn bikini, she says. And Angie is looking like just like, you know, that embarrassment when you puked in front of a bunch of friends? Couldn't be me. But you know that embarrassment that you get, but at the same time, you're still holding on because you know you're going to have to vomit again. And she realizes also on top of that, there's cameras on her. This is a crossover event. Lisa says, I really don't want to be around Angie while she's puking. Ick. I really don't want to be around Angie's when she's puking. Ick. Grossy pants. And then Lisa goes to Angie and points at her. No more boats for you. No more boats for you. She's so full of it, she makes her own self sick. Ha ha ha. I did a mean funny. Ha 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 ha. So now Brittany's awkwardly talking to Joao again, goes, did you have fun? And he goes, yes, I did. Good. And then Joao's like, do you have a late night tonight? Yeah, late night tonight? And she goes, I think so. I think so. Are we going to see you again later, Joao? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, okay. Like in her head, she's like, it's a date. She's so weird. I love her so much. Okay, so Whitney and Bronwyn go into a room Wendy's like, come in here. And so they're in Bronwyn's room. And Bronwyn is like, oh, so Wendy's figuring out that she's sharing with Britani in the first place. And Bronwyn's like, look at this. You need to see what Britani showed me. And she picks up the Jared unicorn. She said, look what she brought. And she presses it. Good night, baby. You are loved. Good night, baby. You are loved. Imagine Bronwyn and Britani in bed, and Britani is just like pressing that button again and again and again and again. And Bronwyn's like, if that goes off in the middle of the night, it's going to give me, that's my sleep paralysis demon. Good night, baby. You are loved. Good night, baby. Good night, baby. Let me see your boobs. Good night, baby. And Wendy's like, is that Jared? Is that Jared's voice? Who the fuck is he? And also, she's on a 30-day fast. That doesn't count with stuffed animals. She promised that she's not going to be with him, and she's going to find one of the deck crew here. I love it. She's like, she promised she wasn't going to be with him, and she'd fuck the deck crew. What's going on with that? And Bronwyn's laughing. And upstairs, now Britani is flirting with another deckhand, and she goes, I love your British accent. He's like, you love my British accent, huh? So what do you do if I don't mind me asking? And Britani goes, I'm a developer. I'm a real estate developer. And then I sell what I build. I build, I sell. I build, I sell. I build, I sell. She says it 3 times in a row, and this guy looks at her like, what the fuck are you talking about? I knew she was in real estate, but I had no idea she was a developer. Is that a lie? I do not want to look it up because I don't want to be disappointed, but I didn't think she build and she sold. You know what I'm saying? I build, I sell. I build, like, this is like a dude trying to hit on a teenager. Like, this is weird as hell. Like, I love your accent. It'd be a lot. Yeah. I love what you're wearing. It'd be cooler to see it on my floor. Anyways, Bronwyn's talking to Whitney. What was that lunch? I didn't even say I think it's Lisa. The second I said I think somebody's putting stuff in the press about me, she was like, none of us would do that. This group would never do that. I wasn't even accusing her. Because it was her, Bronwyn. Yeah. Who, broke the Alibaba thing last year? It was Lisa. That's what made it so obvious to me. You just went through this, Whitney. And the person who's putting this on Twitter keeps using a nickname for me before they were tweeting. What's the nickname? Conwyn, not Bronwyn. And that is what Lisa called me at Amy's. This stuff wasn't out in the press yet. That's red flag number fucking 1. She called you Conwyn at Amy's party? And we flash back to this 5 weeks earlier where Lisa goes, you're a fraud. You're a liar. She's trying to say she's honest. She's Conwyn. And Bronwyn's like, and the next day that name was on Twitter. But I mean, Conwyn, Fraudwyn, I mean, these things are, couldn't multiple people think of these names? I mean, I guess I didn't think of it, but I don't know. But maybe this person slid into Lisa's DMs and called her that, and Lisa, I don't know. Anyways, Whitney goes, it's not a coincidence that troll is using the same name that Lisa was using for Bronwyn within days, okay? And then we see the account. It's at the Bravo Derm, Pagey on a plane. And his tweet from March 17th says, the thing I just put together that I'm going to post about, hashtag Conwyn Fraudport, later today is so damning. She and her little trolls aren't going to be able to wriggle their way out of this one. It makes everything else I've revealed about her look like child's play. Hashtag Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Just say you want to be on the show. Like just say you want to be on the show. Why are we digging? I don't know. Maybe I'll get this guy on the show. I don't know this guy. I mean, I don't know. You get lost in the sauce. I get it. But I don't know. Sometimes it's very interesting. I don't know what I think about this. When he goes, it's like Lisa's not even trying to hide that she's behind this. And we see another one where at the Bravo Derm has changed his username to Inspector Pagey. And this one says, in addition to the forgery charge in Utah, hashtag Conwyn Fraudport was apparently charged with grand theft and identity theft in California. Noticing some patterns? I am. Hashtag RHOSLC. Listen, I mean, has Are you allowed to make accusations? If they're not true, are you allowed to sue over these things? I don't know how this part of things work. So this dude is saying that there's a forgery charge against Bronwyn, which maybe that's what she's saying was 20 years ago, and then grand theft and identity theft in California. So I don't know. I don't know if the show's going to clear this up. I know Reddit is on fire with a couple of things, which we'll talk about. When he goes, it's like Lisa's getting sloppy. So I think there's a chance that Lisa obviously has been talking to this dude, but I don't think Lisa's bringing him. I don't know what I think, you guys, but also this dude is in DM conversations with Angie K as well. But that's like I said at the beginning of the show. These housewives need to stop fucking around with us, and we need to stop fucking around with these housewives. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know what we're necessarily, I mean, what we're adding to the show is storyline. So maybe I'm like, yeah, keep going, I guess, because I'm enjoying the hell out of this season. But when it comes to other seasons, they've done this in like Beverly Hills and OC, I haven't enjoyed it. I guess it just depends on the group. Anywho, Bronwyn says, and when I said, I think it's someone here, no one in this group would ever do that. How does she know no one in this? Whitney is in Heather. Well, Whitney is with Heather in their room, and Whitney's like, every time Lisa's mad at someone, information leaks about them. Heather, Angie, me, Bronwyn, Mary, Meredith, and Heather's drunk. Okay, I agree. You think Lisa leaked it, Heather? Yeah, absolutely. Lisa is smarter and darker than any of us imagine. Which, by the way, I watched a clip on Carlos King's podcast today where he has Monica Garcia, and Monica Garcia is like, dude, I have said that same thing about Heather. That I've literally said those exact words, that Heather is smarter and darker than any of us could imagine. Heather goes, I think that she looks up everything. She keeps a scorecard. I think all of these ladies look up everything, to be honest with you. And Heather goes, she is pissed about Bronwyn and her attitude, and that she has a huge strapping husband like Todd. And she has made sure that anyone who's interested knows her history. Heather in a Talking Head says, look, this has been going on with Lisa and Bronwyn for a while. We saw in New York that Lisa had spoken to Emma, the jeweler. And remember at the reunion where Lisa's like, Bronwyn, she said you guys didn't buy it or the hoop earrings. And Bronwyn's like, it's very weird a jeweler would tell someone else what I did or didn't buy. And that's why when I go to Kay's jeweler, I'm always like, keep it on the DL. Heather says, I've seen Lisa talking to other people and gathering information about Bronwyn. And we see a scene of Lisa going to Amy the socialite, do you know Bronwyn at all? And Amy the socialite says, well, we all lived in the Bay Area together. And Lisa goes, did you people love Todd? And Amy says, is this where I take the fifth? Is that what we do? And we see Heather eavesdropping. And Heather goes, and when Angie dropped that Lisa had given her names and information to dig up on Meredith, and we flash back to that scene earlier this season where Angie goes, she was telling me there was things out there about Bronwyn, about bankruptcy and shoplifting. And then Meredith confronting Lisa at the psychic lunch. I need to know if you were spreading negative rumors about me and my family. And Lisa going, no. Heather says, it sealed the deal for me. And it was undeniable. I mean, listen, that is a string of 3 occurrences that are hard, where it's like a lot of information is falling in Lisa Barlow's lap. My question is a lot of information falling in all of these ladies' laps? It's just that Lisa's the one that always brings it to the table, or tries to bring it through the table in like back channel ways and get other people to do the dirty work. Heather tells Whitney, I think all of the leaks came from Lisa. What if Lisa's reality Von Tease and Monica Garcia did nothing? So then Whitney goes, so what do? We throw her overboard. Heather says, I think we should get Meredith in here. No, why would you think to get Meredith in here? Meredith is truly ride or die Lisa. And when he goes, do you want me to go get her? And Heather's like, yes, go get her. It is my trip. You will fetch the Meredith. Heather says Meredith is pretty much Lisa's closest friend on the boat, and I want to know if she feels the same way. So Meredith comes in and Heather says, I don't want to destroy my friendship with Lisa by addressing this. And if Meredith were there to just show support or help me get through it, I feel like it would go over a lot better. Dude, this is Heather's tough. You would never get support from Meredith. So then Heather goes, tell her, Whitney. Whitney goes, okay. So Lisa hated me last year, right? And all of this information leaked about me. Now Lisa is at odds with Bronwyn, Conwyn Fraudport. And Meredith is just staring. Don't you think it's a little bit suspicious? And Meredith goes, so you think she's engaging with the press in an inappropriate way? Yes, I do. And think about it. We're finally talking about Lisa and what she's going through. Meredith still not reacting at all, man. You got to put Meredith on the stand. She would not crack. Like, it doesn't matter. We are just talking about her. And then Meredith goes, no, I mean, it's an issue. Yeah, sure, it's an issue. Yeah. Heather goes, we were talking about Lisa's lawsuits, and now we're not talking about them anymore. And Meredith now opens her mouth. I can't tell if it's a yawn or if she's cracking her jaw. And then Meredith goes, if in fact that is the case, that is definitely a problem. And then Whitney goes, what, the case? If Lisa is in fact feeding information to some sort of media outlets that's negative about her friends, then it's definitely a problem. That's not a question, obviously, if that is true. Now, remember, I love when Meredith reminds us that she's a lawyer. So it's always like, these legal proceedings on this bed starts now. Maritime law is in session. This is Meredith's maritime law. She may not have done anything. I don't know. You know, I can't speak to it pertaining to this issue with Bronwyn or whatever else, but as far as I know, in our own interactions, we're in a good place. And Heather goes, you don't think it's highly suspicious that all of this stuff leaked about Conwyn Fraudport? And Meredith shakes her head no. And Heather goes, right when Lisa was at her height of anger at Bronwyn. And Meredith goes, I think it's not positive. I'll say that on all accounts. Yes. In a talking head, Meredith goes, they're so worried about who planted it, but they don't care about what Bronwyn did. Look, if Lisa really did this, that would be horrible. But there's no proof, and correlation does not equal causation. The defense rests. Correlation does not equal causation. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Seth is like, I love when you use legal words. It makes me want to get in a bathtub and do weird stuff to your butt. Then Meredith tells the lady, you know, there are only so many coincidences in life, and maybe it is a coincidence. But you know what? We all just want to move on. We want to move forward. We want this to end. We don't want to be living in this behavior. I mean, Meredith's pretty much saying, come on, the checks are clearing with Bravo right now. Come on, we're on a beautiful boat. We've all made mistakes in our friendships. You know, we've owned up to a lot of things that we've done. Let's see what she says. And then we have like close-up zoom-in reaction shots of Whitney and Heather, and they both just look hammered. Like, I'm trying not to pass out like Angie K. It would be great if they both all just start projectile vomiting on Meredith. So Angie is like laid out on the bed, and she has like some of that post-vomit, like, you know, damp sweat on her. But Mary's taking good care of her and just like sitting by her. And they go get Captain Jason to check her out. He's like, of course I want to check out the ladies. He's like, are you feeling better? And he brings ice packs to put up against her legs. And Angie's like, well, it's worth it. All this love and care. Mary by my side. The captain here icing me. And Mary's like, you'll get better, girl. And Jason's like, might just help a little bit. Cool you down a little bit. Yeah. Very sweet. And I do love that Mary is just right by her side. And I don't even mind that Mary and Angie K aren't at dinner. I think the dinner is still fantastic in terms of drama, but it's also great to keep going back into this room and seeing what they're dealing with. So all the other ladies are getting all glammed up for the dinner. So now Heather's like, hello, welcome to the dinner. You might notice that there are 8 of us on this trip and only 6 place settings. That is because Angie has a bit of the seasickness. And so she makes that announcement to all the ladies. And Daisy's like, You gotta get your sea legs. You gotta get your sea legs. All my below deck voices are the same voice. Lisa's like, she can't even get out of bed? Oh my God. And Heather's like, I went and checked on her and she had to get up to throw up while I was checking on her. And Lisa goes, oh my gosh, that's so sad. LOL. And we flash back to Heather laying with Angie, and Angie's like, I gotta get up. The movement is making me feel I gotta get up. And Heather's like, she's gonna barf. Let's get her to the bathroom. Go, girl, go, 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 go. And then we literally hear Mary vomit. Heather says Mary wants to take her dinner in the room with Ange to be with her. So I think we should do a toast. Cheers to Angie getting better. Everybody picks up their glass except for Lisa Barlow. They all cheers to sea legs. Lisa does not cheers. We cut back to Angie just miserable in bed. And we see that Mary's plate of food is on her side of the bed. And then we hear the toilet flush. And Mary goes, okay, I'm brand new. And now I got food. She flushes the toilet and Mary comes out of the bath. Okay, I'm brand new. Yeah. I've had those moments in the bathroom. I'm brand new. And Angie goes, I'm glad you talked to yourself because it'll entertain me and you won't be lonely. And Mary looks at the food. Is that the food? And Mary looks at it. Where's the rest of it? It's not big enough portions for Mary, potentially. Anyways, the food is getting delivered to the rest of the ladies on the deck. And the food's all rolling in, presented beautifully by Chef Ben. You have burrata with a homemade romesco sauce, And Lisa's like, oh my gosh, thank you. There's crispy basil leaf, and Heather thinks that's a fun touch. And Heather goes, again, I feel like I'm sad that we're missing Angie and Mary's commentary. And then Brittany goes, I do not miss Mary's commentary. And Heather looks at Brittany and Bronwyn. Bronwyn's facial reactions are so great. Bronwyn's like, what? And Heather goes, oh dear, Brittany, we have a rule. And Brittany's like, what? And Heather goes, you can only shit talk if they're right in front of you. Well, all of you guys have broken that rule. And Brittany goes, I'm the only one. Brittany's like feeling herself. I'm the only one that says what I feel to people's faces. Yeah. And Bronwyn's like, well, what about the things that are not being said to people's faces? And Brittany shoots Bronwyn a look. And Bronwyn's like, there's other people at the table you're mad at that you are not saying something about. And we flash back to Brittany confiding in Bronwyn in a flashback going, I just feel like Lisa's trying a little too hard to big sister me. And I don't need that. While she's changing on clothes. And she's like, I can fight my own battles, Bronwyn. And Bronwyn's like giving facial reactions like, zoinks. And Bronwyn's like, well, what's going on with you and Meredith, Brittany? What's the problem there? And Brittany's like, I haven't seen Meredith yet without her having a seizure of some sort. And Bronwyn's like, oh my, I can't believe she said that. I just don't know why Meredith goes from a 0 to 100 in 0.2 seconds. It's almost like it's not even real. And Bronwyn's like, I feel like Meredith's been super supportive of you, no? And Brittany's like, no. And then we come back to this dinner. And then Bronwyn goes, well, fuck it all the way then. She said that you big sister her, Lisa, and are in her business and doesn't want your advice, and it's bullshit. And she says to you that you pretend to have seizures, Meredith. She said you slur your words. She says you go from 0 to 100 over nothing. She thinks it's an act. She doesn't believe anything that comes out of your mouth. Now, I will find this interesting. Bronwyn really threw Brittany under the bus, and it was really uncalled for. It makes for a fantastic scene right now, but she's pretty much doing what she complains of Lisa doing, right? Like, it's really weird that Bronwyn did this, especially of, like, talking behind people's... I thought this was such a weird moment from Bronwyn, yet it provided such entertainment. So Brittany's trying to come out of this hole. And then Meredith takes umbrage with the word seizure. Now, I know what Brittany meant because we all say it. Like, it is when you can trigger Meredith like we're doing right now. She goes from, well, I don't know, causation before representation. And then she can go, you can leave. Like, she becomes the Incredible Hulk, right? So I don't know what the word for that, but I think that's what she meant by seizure. She didn't legitimately mean she's having an epileptic seizure, right? So Meredith, though, takes this literally. I've never had a seizure in my life, but that's a horrible thing to say about somebody. Ah, good morning, Meredith. It's nice to see you awake. And Brittany's just like, oh, there are people who do have seizures, and they are very serious. One of which was my child. Uh-oh. So I find that to be despicable. And Brittany tries to say my child, and Meredith goes, I don't care. I don't care. Like, this is the Meredith we know and love. And Brittany goes, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And then Bronwyn's like, stop saying seizure. And Meredith stands up. And she takes a glass and dumps the water in Brittany's lap. She doesn't throw it on her. She dumps it on her lap, which is kind of nice because she's like, I'm not going to ruin her makeup, so I'm just going to dump it in her lap. Then people are going to think you wet your pants. That's how I roll. And Brittany's like, are you kidding me? And Meredith's like, you can stop. And then Bronwyn picks up a glass and stands up and throws the water. And this is when Meredith water bends. She bends the water. Guys, I've never seen anything. Brittany throws the water and Meredith holds up a hand and the water bounces off some imaginary force field that Meredith has created with her mind. And now everybody's standing up. The crew's like, what the fuck is going on here? Whitney hides behind Heather. Heather's actually Heather's like trying not to laugh. And in a talking head, Heather goes, Meredith, turn up your hearing aid. She didn't say Jared that time. So in this talking head, isn't Heather making fun of Meredith's hearing aids? Meredith wouldn't like that because Meredith actually does wear hearing aids. So Brittany goes, see, this is what I'm talking about. And Meredith goes, I've had enough of your nonsense. Enough. Come on. Brittany says, I'm sick of her nonsense. Nobody's even like standing up for me, right? And, she's like, this is what I'm talking about. Meredith is like, stop saying to somebody has seizures. I don't think that's funny. I think it's disgraceful, disgusting. I do think it's disgusting. Brittany says, I think that she dislikes me so much because I think I'm the only one that isn't afraid of her. And Brittany goes, you did not just say that. And you did not just say that, Bronwyn. And Bronwyn's like, I wasn't trying to stir up the pot. I just don't think you should say that stuff about Meredith. And Meredith's like, thank you, Bronwyn. Thank you. Brittany goes, she's had this kind of like, oh, look at me, I'm Meredith Marks. And then Brittany goes, actually, oh, I'm Meredith Marks. Which Brittany does a pretty good Meredith Marks. Brittany goes, no one else will tell her. No one else will be like, Meredith, you're batshit crazy. And this isn't normal. Oh, they're going to play that clip at the reunion. Once again, Brittany calling somebody batshit crazy is ballsy because you can immediately go, oh my God, you do know what batshit crazy looks like, right? And Brittany goes, Meredith, you go like from 0 to 100 in 0.2 seconds. Like, how is it that 1 second you're nice to me and the second you're like freaking out? And then back in the room, Mary Cosby is eating a crostini, just having the time of her life is like Angie's near death. And Mary's like, good crunchy bed. And Angie's like, sounds crunchy. And Mary goes, I've been blessed. And Angie's like, you are blessed, eating in peace. And Mary goes, I hope they appreciate that food up there. We cut back to Brittany goes, no one does that. No one goes from a 0 to 100. And then Bronwyn's like, watch your feet, there's glass everywhere. And Meredith goes, you lied insensibly. And then we flash back to the trip last season where Brittany goes, I wake up in the middle of the night to the sounds of Meredith crying and throwing up. And Heather's like, throwing up? And then Meredith goes, you have recorded us? And then we flash back to the trip where Brittany got caught recording them and said it was for her daughter. And Meredith, like, in the back of the Sprinter van is like, you are vile! You're recording us? I am so disgusted I had you in my home. So in this scene, Meredith goes, you've done a lot of really nasty things. And then we flash back to Brittany at the first episode of the season where Brittany is telling Whitney that her business is getting dragged on social media. And Whitney's like, are you kidding me, Brittany? Brittany goes, Meredith, why don't you just disengage? And Meredith takes a second and goes, where have I heard that from? And she goes, oh, I would be more than happy to disengage from you forever, sweetheart. Bye. Jared got me a stuffed animal too and says, I'm the best. And then Heather goes, everyone at this table, we all need to own things in order to move on and like have an open conversation. So what I'm proposing is everybody put out their phones and let's read the worst thing that we've all said about each other this year. No. But Heather's like trying to lead, like she's like the Godfather. She's leaning back in her chair. This isn't a pile-on. Come on. We're adult women. We have and Jason have allegedly poked around. We are privileged women. We are living our best fucking lives. Daisy's telling the crew, it's so intense out there. And then Meredith goes, what's a pylon? Seth is like, it's when I take a Cleveland steamer on your naked body, Meredith. Hey, it's me, Seth. I'm in Canton, Ohio. I'd love to do a pylon. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, that's very different. I just said I'm disengaging. And now they're all talking over each other. And this is what I say. It reminds me of classic Real Housewives of New York when all the ladies would talk over each other, but it's so fucking entertaining to me. It's not annoying like it is on other shows. Like I'm just watching Bronwyn's reaction. She's not saying anything, but her reactions are hysterical. But Meredith goes, Bronwyn's supporting me. Lisa's supporting. There's no gang up. There's no gang up. No gang up. And Brittany just rolls her eyes as Meredith takes a chug of her wine. And then we cut back to the cucumber that was put on the side of the bed. But now the girthy cucumber is on the floor and the crew member's picking it up going, what? Why would they have one of those? Maybe like for a spa day, like put it on their eyes or something? The case of the cucumber, which I'm sure we'll find out more about when Below Deck Down Under comes out. We go back to the ladies and Heather goes, we're going to talk. We all need to own things. I love when Heather gets drunk, her voice gets raspy. What else do we need to own at this table? And everybody's silent for a second. Intense music's playing. And Wendy goes, I think you need to own something. And Meredith. And Lisa goes, what? And Wendy goes, the little conversation that we had on our bed earlier. More silence. And then Meredith goes, yes, you guys should talk about it. Not me. You and Heather. Yeah, you definitely should say something. Yeah, not me though. Yeah. And Wendy goes, you were a part of it. And Meredith goes, I was a part of it. Yes. But I didn't have my hearing aids in. So, ha! Heather says, I feel disappointed by Meredith. I was trying to make grounds with Lisa. And I thought it would go over a lot better if, Meredith was with me. But now it just feels like leaving me high and dry. I have no words, Heather says. And Heather goes, I don't care about anyone outside of the people seated at this table. And I just want to be real with you. And now Heather's staring at Lisa Barlow at the other end of the table. Everybody's now looking at Lisa. And Heather goes, I'm just going to be honest with you that I think that you're the source of all the dirt. And everybody's like, zoinks. And Bronwyn's like, zoinks, what? Zoinks, zoinks. Zoinks everywhere. And then the choral music comes in. And then Lisa goes, wait, why are you guys even questioning me? And Wendy goes, because we feel like you always know the information before. And Lisa goes, because you just questioned me. That she thought you were questioning me. And Meredith goes, because apparently whenever you're upset, something gets leaked. And Lisa goes, oh my God, that is so dumb. I hope you had my back on this, Meredith. I hope you had my back on this. Come on. And Meredith goes, I hoped it was not true. I hope you went all the way with this. And Meredith goes, I don't think it was true. And Lisa goes, oh, no. And then Heather goes, fuck, we don't have your back on this. And Lisa now has her arms in the air, waving it like Biggie Smalls. And is like, we don't have to hope it's not true. It's not fucking true. And Meredith goes, thank you. It's not fucking true. I'm not the source of anything. People tell me stuff and I'm all of a sudden responsible. And Wendy goes, yeah, you know everything. And Meredith is like the interpreter. They think that you are the one who has fed everything to the blogs. And Heather goes, you are the grand poobah. And then Lisa goes, yes, I am the motherfucking Dawn of Salt Lake City, I guess. And she's raising the roof as she says it. That's an iconic line. I am the motherfucking Dawn of Salt Lake City, I guess. Cause this is fucking weird. We cut back to Lisa in a cowboy hat talking head. I have never dug up dirt on any of these motherfucking bitches. And I'm so fucking sick of being accused of this. She says to the table, people tell me stuff. I'm at fucking Harmon's and I hear shit. I go to get a Diet Coke and I hear shit. I go to Wendy's and I hear shit. And then we cut back to Angie and Mary's room. And Mary's like, did you hear that? Did you hear what she said? And Angie goes, no. And Mary goes, me either. We go back to the fight. And Lisa's like, I fucking can't take this. And this is when Lisa goes to tears. So in some ways, this could be completely real emotions. In some ways, it could be a tactic. It could be like, well, that didn't work. So now I had to pivot this way to tears. And Lisa's like, you guys shut the fuck up about me. I don't do anything to you. And then Whitney's starting to come near her. And Lisa's like, don't come near me. Don't you fucking come near me. And Whitney goes, I'm coming near you. I'm coming near you. Lisa, I'm coming near you. Lisa. And Lisa's now standing up and like kind of running away from Whitney. And then we cut back to Mary. Mary's like, wait, I feel like I hear Whitney and Lisa. And Lisa's like, Whitney's like, we are not your punching bag. And Lisa's like, you guys have no one to beat up if I'm not here. And then Lisa grabs Heather's face like it's like the end of The Godfather of like, I knew it was you, Fredo. And Heather's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And Lisa's like, you know everything I know. And now they're all speaking over each other. And Whitney comes up and Lisa's like, sit down, just sit down. And Whitney's like, you sit down, you sit down. You fucking sit down. And Heather's like, sit down and talk to me, Lisa. Come on! And they're just screaming. Lisa finally sits down and she's like, fuck you. And Heather's like, fuck me? Like a Sanford Meisner exercise in acting class. Fuck you, fuck me, fuck you, fuck me, fuck me. And Daisy's like, they're like literally killing each other out there. And then Lisa sitting down goes, I've been called a cheater, a fucking Jen Shaw. What else are you going to fucking say about me? And then Lisa does the clapping tears. You know, if Lisa gets into an argument, she's eventually going to clap while crying. You're lucky I fucking talked to any of you. My life's completely different. And everybody's just staring at her. And Heather kind of has this wry smile because she knows this is making good TV right now. Heather's like, I have been a very fucking good friend to you. And then Lisa goes to Meredith, if you didn't defend me, oh my God. You better say I'm fucking sorry right now, Meredith, because I defended you. And Heather goes, you know what? Don't be fucking afraid of her, Meredith. She's throwing her weight around at you. Like, fuck you, Lisa Barlow, Heather says. I've been a fucking good friend to you for no fucking reason other than the fact that you are. And then Lisa's like, what are you even talking about? Now Jason's bringing out the food. They brought in the big guns. Hello, it's me, a male meat on a stick. Megan, I can help you ladies calm down with a little sexy walk with food in my hands. And Heather's like, are you fucking kidding me? Listen to me, Lisa. And Lisa's like, where am I wrong? They're trying to put down deconstructed cheesecake. Lisa Barlow, look at me. I've been a fucking good friend to you. You've been totally. And Lisa's like, then what is this conversation about? And Heather's like, just fucking own it. This is very Lisa Rinna code. Just fucking own it. And Joelle's like, can I give you this? Can I give you the food? And Heather goes, that you're the source of all the fucking dirt. And Lisa goes, fuck that. I'm not going to own that. I'm not the source of any fucking dirt. Don't you ever put that on me ever again. Jason and JWoww come in like, all right. I was going to eat with him, but not tonight. Oh, I'm not going to go there. Oh. And then Lisa claps again. And I'm not going to admit to something I didn't fucking do. Like, where did that start, the clapping and the yelling? Was it like when she was a kid? Was it hard for her to get attention? And then Heather goes, you're fucking defensive. Fucking bitch. And Lisa goes, oh. And Heather goes, you know all the dirt. Say it to her fucking face right now. Lisa, say it to her fucking face right now. So Heather's like sticking to her guns. And Heather goes, I'll say it. Grand larceny, identity theft, all of it. Lisa, say it to Bronwyn's face. Why don't you say it to her, Lisa? And Lisa goes, why am I responsible for what's on the internet? So true. She's not Mark Zuckerberg. Come on. Jason goes back in to check on Angie and Mary. He opens the door. Mary's like, there he is. There's desserts. And Angie's like, the highlight of our night. And Angie's like, what is going on up there, Captain Jason? Have they calmed down? And Jason's like, no, I was like a ghost. And Angie's like, well, you come here and we'll pay attention to you. And so Jason just drops trowel immediately. No, back to Lisa. Lisa's like, what do I need to say? And Heather's like, you don't need to do anything, but I'm just going to be honest. I think you're the source of all the dirt. So Heather really sticking to her guns. And this is why I think Heather knows something that we don't know. Because Heather is very calculated. And she's not going to make a big slip up. She's not messy like this. So either she knows something or she is shit-canned wasted right now. And Lisa goes, okay, then I totally can't be your friend, Heather. And Heather's like, are you fucking kidding me? Friends should be able to say that friends are fucking liars and like do all the dirt. Come on. And now they're just staring at each other and everybody's staring at Lisa. It's very intense. And then Lisa goes, I got accused last year of leaking stuff I didn't leak. I actually defended you and felt bad for you. I really felt bad for you. Talking to Whitney. And then Lisa's pointing to people, what if you're the leak? 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 It's not fucking me. And Heather goes, I would own it. And then Lisa's exhausted with all of this. Lisa's like, I love how this got spun. I love how this got spun. And Heather's like, it's not spun. You're fucking spinning it, you moron. You're spinning it. I did not do what you're accusing me of doing. And I just don't have anything more to say. You're spinning it the wrong way, Lisa. I literally can't even believe that you would say. I'm frustrated. More pauses. I'm like in shock right now. And Heather goes, have I ever talked about your marriage? Have I ever disparaged your business? Have I ever done fucking anything to you? I'm going to say what I think. I'm going to say it to your face. Well, you got the wrong girl. I'm sorry. And then Heather goes, get off the fucking yacht. If you can't hear what I have to, I'm the big dog. Remember me? Receipts, proof, timeline, headshots. Blah! And then Lisa goes, okay, I'm happy to go. And then everybody's like, the chef is here. And Chef Ben's out, and Lisa's like, and now Lisa's standing up, and she's now reverting back to tears. The fact that you accuse me of something I would never do, like, and Chef Ben's trying to say something, but he can't because everybody's crying and arguing. And Lisa's like, you made it very clear. I'm leaving. I will never be accused of something I did not do. And Meredith takes Lisa off. And then Lisa's like, you know what? I'm like, I don't need to be calmed down. Do you mean it, Heather? Do you want me to go? And Heather goes, no, I don't want you to go. I did not do what you're accused me of doing. How would you feel if I was like, you're the source. You're the source. You're the one that did it. You did it. Admit it, Heather. You did it. And Ben finally gives up on talking to the ladies. Fuck that. And Heather goes, I have been a very fucking good friend to you. I'm a friend to you to the death. What does that even mean? That's where Heather loses me, because that's like black eye Jen Shaw shit. Like, what does that mean? It's like, I know you're a criminal and I'll go down with you like I went down with Jen Shaw. Like, Heather, I hope you learned something from that experience. Don't say shit like this. I'm a friend to you to the death. It doesn't need to get that intense. Lisa's like, listen, you know what? Being a friend to me is not telling me to admit something I did not do. That is not being a friend to me. And Lisa has like a hand on Heather's neck lightly. That is being fucking everything else, like what you've done to me, Whitney. And Whitney goes, no, you've done stuff to me. And then Lisa goes, no, I have not fucking done anything to you. Get that out of your head. Get that out of your head. I've never done a fucking thing to you. And when he goes, I know you have. And now Heather has pulled Lisa aside. Lisa has her phone out. And Lisa's crying, you guys are fucking liars and fake. And Heather's like, listen to me. Why is it so fucking bad that you're the one that knows everything about everyone? Why is it so fucking bad that you have leaked? I love Heather says, like, it's bad that she's leaked everything. Why is it so fucking bad that you've leaked everything? It's actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool to leak things. And Lisa's like, you're saying I'm the source in the leak. I am not. And then Heather's like, why is that fucking bad? It's radical. What are you talking about? And Lisa's like, it's not true. It's not true. And she's calling John now. And she goes, ask your buddies who it is. Ask your friends. And Heather goes, you're my buddy. Hey, buddy, you're my buddy. And she's like, hey, John. No, I'm like so sad. Poor John. John Barlow probably had just sat down. He's eaten he actually cooked up like a steak, having the first vegetables he's had in like a year. He's like, it's just peace. He doesn't even have the TV on. It's just silence. He's like, finally just like, oh my God, I've never had a moment like this where I'm just enjoying myself. And then Ring is like, hey, John, no, I'm like so sad. I am like so sad. And Heather's following her, and Heather's like, no, Lisa. And Lisa turns around, get the fuck away. I'm not going to leave you, Lisa. Heather just accused me of being I'm not going to fucking. And Heather just going, I'm not going to leave you. And now she's following Lisa down the stairs of the boat. And Lisa's like, it's the worst thing anybody's ever done to me. And she goes, John, admit it. She kept saying, Heather's like, I didn't say. She said that I'm the source. That's what she said. And Heather's like, you're creating this out of your mind. Well, you actually did do it. She's not creating it out of her mind, Heather. You did say that. And then it goes, fuck off. I want to walk downstairs. You want to walk downstairs and fucking leave me? And then Lisa goes, tell Heather, you're on speaker. Tell John what you said. Now Heather walks back up the stairs. Lisa goes down another set of stores, and Lisa's like, I've never done anything to them. That's kind of a lie as well. We know that's a lie as well. Heather comes in crying to Angie and Mary Cosby's room, and they're like, oh my God, what happened? And I was like, oh. And Mary's like, you're okay. You're being a good friend. And Heather's like, I was coming to try to find Lisa because she's so mad at me. How are you feeling, Angie? And Angie's like, don't worry about me. What's happening? I'm seeing the light, Heather. I'm seeing the light. Heather's like, I just said you're the source of it all. And she freaked out. She fully freaked out. And Mary's like, good, Heather. And Angie's like, the source of all what? Everything? And Mary goes, yes. Yes, she is. Mary's like, she is. Lisa is. When you would take that to the bank. And Mary goes, very brave of you. And Heather goes, and I am her friend. And she is, you guys, she is. And Mary's like, don't cry over that, Heather. You're being a real friend. And you know what? Real friends need that. And Angie's like, it's game over. She's not game over. I've literally puked all day. Game over. And Angie's like, I don't care who you do it to. It's wrong. And Mary goes, the captain was paying attention. He said Heather's getting at Lisa. He told me that. And now Heather's laughing. Whitney's talking to Captain Jason. I want to sneak down to the kitchen. Is that okay? And she almost drunkenly falls down the steps. She's like, oh my God. I love how everybody rallies. Lisa's completely losing her mind. And Whitney's like, I want to see where the steaks are made. That'd be cool. I love it when I watch it on the television. I want to see it. Captain Jason goes up to Brittany. You have a good night? And Brittany's like, game on. She goes, yeah, you didn't have a good night. What are you fucking talking about? Yeah, yes. And then Brittany goes, let me ask you this. Do you like unicorns? No, let me ask you this. Do you actually run the ship? And he's like, yeah. And she goes, could you give me a tour? And he goes, yeah, totally. And she goes, really? And he goes, not now. And she goes, why not? Tomorrow. Brittany's, can I get a tour of your bedroom? And Brittany goes, I was looking for an excuse. He goes, were ya? And he goes, I'm going to bed. I've been up since 4 a.m. And now Bronwyn and Meredith are laughing, watching Brittany completely try to throw herself at Captain Jason. And Whitney's downstairs. She finally gets to see the galley. She's so excited. The food was amazing, everybody. Yay. And then Brittany now, she's tanked Captain Jason. She now goes to second resort, JWoww. And she's like, hey, Muscles. He goes like, how are you? I'm good. I just want to make sure Lisa's okay, Muscles. And Lisa now is on this little, like, kind of deck poking out of the boat, like this raft deck. And she's like sitting in the middle. This is so, everybody has made memes saying this is so cinematic, but it is so cinematic because you can see the lights of the boat, which are blue, which is lighting up the water. You see fishes swimming around, and it's just cinematically perfect because she's sitting in the middle of this inflatable dock. And it's like, this looks so good. Did they make her sit out there, or did she just do this on her own accord? Because, like, I think she did it on her own accord, and just everybody's just doing perfect to make it look good on television by their own instincts. And Lisa's like, I'm just going to the hotel, John. I'm going to go to the hotel. Promise me you will come get me. Promise me you will fly 14 hours. And Brittany comes up, hey, pal. And Lisa goes, no, I don't want you near me, Brittany. I don't want you near me. I don't want anyone near me. And Brittany goes, you don't want me near you? And he goes, I don't want anyone near me. And then Brittany goes, can I just hug you? Do you know how crazy you got to be to see somebody in deep distress that says they don't want you near them 4 times in a row and goes, can I just hug? Can I just get clipped? Can I touch your skin? Can I? Do you want to hear Jared's unicorn message to you? And Lisa goes, the sickest thing I ever heard in my life. Please leave me alone. I just want to be with John. And then Brittany goes, can I just say I love you? She goes, no, I don't want anyone touching me or near me. And Brittany finally gives up. Brittany's been rejected 3 times in the course of 3 minutes. Back upstairs, Heather's telling the ladies, Mary, what do I say to her? Mary's like, you're telling her the truth. You're being a real friend. You know, you're being honest. It's how we all feel, Mary says. We all feel it. We all know it. And Angie's like, when she's talking about all that tea with people, and Mary's like, that's all she does. You know? And then Angie's like, chirps, I wish I could have been there. I've been vomiting out my butt and my mouth. And Heather goes, babe, I got you. I love you. I love you. I'm carrying the message. Now Heather's all bold again. I got this. Does anyone know where Lisa is? And Brittany goes, yeah, I do. She just rejected me on the dock. You know, I was actually looking for you. I found Lisa. And Heather's like, I want to go talk to her. I want to go talk. Take me to her. Whitney's getting a tour of the cabins now. This is so cute in here. This is great. Brittany's like, are you okay, Heather? And Heather's like, I'm totally fine. I'm the leader of this ship. I just want to talk to her. Just want to talk to her. Whitney's talking to me. Do you sleep in the kitchen? What's going on? And Heather's like, she's leaving the boat? And Brittany's like, no, she's right there in the middle. And Heather's like, why did they do this to me? And that's where we end it. Next week on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we see it's like the next day, they're all in a boat, laughing underwater. We see fishies. And Heather says, I swam with the stingray just like I was fucking Nemo, which I think she means just like I was Nemo, not that she was actually having sex with the fish Nemo. And then Mary telling Meredith, you're not a good friend. I think you're boring. Mary Cosby tells Meredith, I think you're boring. And then Angie saying to Lisa, you were talking about Bronwyn saying Todd was making out with one of my friends while farting the entire time. I can't read. Angie tells, Angie says, Angie says you were talking with what? Wait, we got to. This show is insane, you guys. Okay, let's back this up again. Angie says to Lisa, you were in front of the girls. Angie says, you were talking about Bronwyn saying Todd was making out with one of my friends while farting the entire time. And Lisa goes, I did not. And Bronwyn goes, you're dead to me. Fuck you. So she's saying that Bronwyn was making out with one of Lisa's friends farting. I didn't leak that Todd was like, by the way, that never got leaked to the press. Where are the Bravo blogs? Where's the Bravo derm of like, we have breaking news info that Todd farts when he makes out with strangers. That gutter snake Lisa said I fart, and Bronwyn's like, oh my God, he does fart when he makes out with me. This might be true. Poor Tot. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh my God, I can't. This isn't healthy. Oh my God. Then we have more of the preview. They're all dressed in like these killer outfits, like spooky. Like Heather has an axe hanging out of her head. And Brittany says, I saw something today about sex, possible indiscretion. And Meredith says, stay away from me. She needs to stay away. And Meredith throws something. So this was about something sexy time with Meredith that Brittany brings up. Holy shit, you guys. Holy shit. This is so fucking good. My God. Okay. What are we going to do here? Okay. Fuck. I've got more, but we got to end this. Okay. Part 2. We're doing a part 2. Click over there right now. I know there's a lot of content, but man, when you have art like this to talk about, and we've only sat with this episode for 2 days, imagine how we're going to feel about this episode a year from now. I love you guys so much. Click over to part 2 right now, mother effers. Sorry, I love you. I didn't mean that. I was sorry. I'm just being Lisa Barlow and Heather Gay in one right now. What an episode.